This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. The American political landscape is littered, it is replete, we should say, with characters like Ben Shapiro, unqualified but unquestioned by their followers. And Ben Shapiro likes to play the game of being reputable and logical and reasonable, and he is nothing like that. He is anything but that. He was on his little show on Daily Wire yesterday, rambling on, flirting with the idea of not just secession from the Union, from conservative states like Texas, but also civil war. This is a common refrain we hear from conservatives all the time now, that civil war might be the only way for Republicans and conservatives to live their lives unmolested by the federal government, unimpeded by progress and ethics and morality and civil and human rights. To them, being forced to wear a mask or a mandate to get vaccinated to protect the society as a whole is tyranny, and they won't stand for it. It is a boot upon their neck to wear a tiny cloth mask that in large measure can help protect those around you and yourself. But to them, it's don't tread on me. It's oppression and tyranny. Clearly signaling that they have no idea what actual oppression is. Let's get to this clip of Ben Shapiro, and then we'll talk about it on the other side.
So on a national level, why should we care about California? Because what it actually presages is not just politics in California. What it presages is a question, whether we actually do want to remain part of the same body politic. If we do want to remain part of the same body politic, we're going to have to construct a system of a federal governance in which Texas can be Texas and California can be California. However, California has to let Texas be Texas. And herein lies the rub, because the federal government has no interest, when run by Democrats, in allowing Texas to be Texas. They would like Texas to be California. And if that's the case, what you're going to end up with is a fairly ugly split between states that wish to be left alone and states that wish to run their business from the top level of the federal government. I think this is why you're hearing so much talk these days about a quote-unquote civil war, or talk about secession, or talk about the country breaking apart. It's a serious question. Whenever you form a body politic, which is what happened at the founding and what happened again in the aftermath of the Civil War, if you form a body politic, you have to decide whether you wish to remain part of the same country. And if so, what common rules can you hold at the top level that everybody can agree to? Well, if the basic notion of American government is that the federal government's going to make all the rules and it's just going to be a struggle for the power of the one ring, then this country is not going to last this way. It is just not. And maybe then the best hope for a lot of conservatives and maybe for a lot of liberals, depending on who's in control of that federal government, is a friendly separation. That is what that foresages. Okay, not that California is the wave of the future, but that California and its polarization is the wave of the future. And that we're going to get, I promise you, in the aftermath of this, real estate values in Florida are going to go up. Real estate values in Arizona, in Texas, in Nevada, they're going to go up because Republicans are going to continue leaving. And maybe that's what the California politicians want. So be it.
Real estate expert and speculator Ben Shapiro, everybody, who apparently just learned two new words. Pre-stages, body politic, whoa. Listen, this is not just about letting Texas be Texas. This isn't about whatever Lord of the Rings reference, the one ring to rule them all or whatever. Has nothing to do with that. This has to do with the time-honored legal tradition of the federal government mandating vaccines and other such things. To let California be California and Texas be Texas, to let Texas be Texas, what that means is that the federal government should turn their face away from blatant violations of civil and human rights. The unconstitutional workaround that they did with overturning, effectively, Roe versus Wade in the state, disallowing women having access to safe and effective reproductive health care. The best way to give women a hand up in any society is to give them the power of reproduction that they choose. Let them make the choice, not white dudes in Austin, in the state capitol, writing draconian legislation, oppressing them, controlling them. And for little Ben Shapiro to be making threats of secession and a friendly separation over this, because he's upset about what took place in California and the recall not going their way when they ran one of the most extreme candidates on the political stage today. This is just pouting. This is a temper tantrum, which they are good at. Threatening civil war, using the word civil war, invoking the imagery of our most bloody and violent war and conflict in American history. That's not by accident. They want Americans to be afraid. They want to fear what may come. And on another note, I've talked about this in the past. It would be amusing. I mean, it would be tragic for all of the reasonable people who live in conservative states. For certain, we can't just wash our hands of Florida and Texas, because there are millions of people who live there who do not agree with the manner with which they're ruled, with the manner with which they are oppressed by the Texas government. But let's put our funny hat on and recognize, certainly, that it would be a little hilarious that all of these states, these conservative states that have talked about secession, that they are a suck. They are a drain on the federal government. They get more in federal resources than they give. States like Idaho, states like Kentucky, states like West Virginia. Sorry if you live there, but the facts are the facts. Conservative states on the whole, not every state, Texas isn't one of them, they are a drain on the federal system. They are not a revenue generator. That the engine of our economy is in blue states. So have at it if you think you're going to strike it out on your own and make it work. Because you're not even making it work now while you're propped up by the taxpayers in the United States. Ben Shapiro running from California to Nashville, Tennessee. You little ghoul. Anyway, I'd love to know what you think, especially if you dissent. You can call, leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily at dollemore.com. I would love to have you connect with me on social media. We can mix it up there. And if I bring you value, help support my work by becoming a channel member. You can click the join button, or you can go over to patreon.com/IDoubtItPodcasts. If there's somebody else on the platform that brings you more value and I'm not your flavor, that's fine. I'm not for everybody. But help support somebody in independent media. It is important now more than ever that people in my genre or space on YouTube are promoted and supported. Anyway, I love you guys. I will see you next time. Until I do, be genuine. Take care of one another.